You're tuned into a festive edition of MyStockScanner Live. The bells are ringing, the charts are singing, and we are scanning stocks for quality, upside, and timing. And Liam Flavel is shaking his head, but there's no bell ringing when he does, so that's a good sign. Anyway, Liam, there should be a bell ringing, not when you shake your head, but a bell ringing for our 3 point playbook portfolio yesterday at 34.35. Today we crossed 35%. Santa Rally is here.
Yeah, last 2 days it was touch and go, wasn't it? Whether we got there. Yeah, we've had a great year this year, and only partly because of defence stocks, which we were found at the right time and went into at the right time. But yeah, good results.
We will take another look, even though we do it on Mondays. We'll take another look at the 3 point playbook portfolio in just a second. We need to go to Santa's little helper in the middle here. Hans-Henrik, great outfit. Cheers for that. But we also have to share it with Novo, not your hat, but the Santa Rally.
Indeed, Novo came out with the news tonight that that they got an FDA approval of the Wegovy pill, which was kind of expected, but it was good news, and they're up nicely today.
Yeah, they are indeed, and we'll take a closer look at what it means. And for all of us who have the Novo stock, and that's basically all of Denmark, I think it comes with your passport. We're super happy to have you with us on the day before Christmas Eve, and we do have a huge packed show for you. It's goodies of all kinds. Novo got their Christmas gift early, as we just said. We will unwrap it and tell more about it. Ørsted, on the other hand, got their windmill wings squeezed in Santa's cookie jar, or should I say Trump's cookie jar. We ask for your predictions on our Tuesday poll, where Tesla is going in the new year. We have specific pointed out April 1st, 2026. Give us your best offer on our Facebook poll. And then, do you have questions for us? Do write us, FOMO@mystockscanner.com. That's your direct way to answers from Liam Flavel and Hans-Henrik Nielsen. We will take a look at the falling and failing dollar, but also talk about the precious metal that's just going up and away, crossed $4,500 yesterday, and it's going higher today. That's gold. Silver follows closely behind. Then we have a number of the day, $1.7 billion. That's almost worth its weight in gold. But first, we need to talk about that fantastic accomplishment that you guys have made, more than 35% return of the money invested in the 3 point playbook model portfolio. Liam Flavel, what pushed us over the limit yesterday?
It was just the US had an awesome rally, which was just pent up demand. Just people, looking at it in relief, thinking, "Wow, stocks do go up in December." Puts us under a little bit of pressure for next year, though, doesn't it?
Well, it does. It does indeed. And one thing that we also should stress here is that it's including a weaker dollar, and we will get to the numbers on the weaker dollar later. But when you talk 35%, that really takes in a weaker dollar as well.
It does. And we're 40-50% into US stocks, so we've had to take some headwinds on the dollar side of things. You can see this grey line here is the S&P 500 in euros, and that's our benchmark against here. So the S&P 500 in euros this year is only up 4.5%. That's the dollar tailwinds or headwinds that I'm talking about 10-11%, something like that, and we're up 35% on there. You can see the blue line. The killer sort of aspects to what we've been doing this year. Our drawdown was only 7%. I mean, that's the stuff you dream about. People, you can get 35% returns, but if you look at crypto, you take insane risks on board, and that's not what we're doing. We're just virtually every single stock we buy is the most boring stock we can imagine.
But boring is good. That's what
Boring
we like
is
right
good.
now. Yeah, it is. And not talking about crypto, but I think it's down 4% over the year as an investment. So, well, how about that? Another positive side for all of us was that Novo got a bump in the aftermarket yesterday. It started all the way up at 10%. It's relaxing a little bit more. Hans-Henrik, they're up by 8.3% this second on the Danish market. Probably will be around that number when the US market open. You said it. FDA approved their pill. shouldn't that have given it 25% or something like that?
Yeah, you would have guessed so. And I would say if we just look back in time to when Novo could only go up, I'm sure that a news like this would have really bumped it up. Then around here, around the top, when we got out, we called that it was a bit overpriced, and people start realizing that competitors might actually show up at some point and try to kill their golden cow there. What's happening down here right now is that people are happy, and 8% in Novo is absolutely nothing to that. That 8.4% right now, that is amazing. Really, what the investors needed right now. However, Eli Lilly is just behind them. Also with the pill, there are several other companies that are coming out with pills or with injections only needed once per month or something like that. So people know by now that this is not a magical market. It's not a certain golden ticket into Moneyland, but it is good news for Novo.
And we shouldn't take that away from it, but also, again, as you can see the lines on your chart right now, Hans-Henrik, there's a little bit of, I won't say there's a resistance where the line is heading, where they're heading right now, but that's our guess at the moment, and it's still not a stock that's going to be part of the 3-point playbook portfolio.
No, we said back here that it might have been the bottom of the stock. We don't know yet. However, it tended to react really badly, even on good news on the way down. And then down here, it started to react quite well on half bad news, which we said it could be a shift in sentiment among investors. For now, it has, and if this is where we try to find earlier tops and bottoms, but what we are looking at basically is the green line here, the 50-day moving average, and then we don't like buying stocks that are below the black line, the 200-day moving average. So if we can get some sort of movement in Novo over the next month here, and then a pop up, then the 200 days moving average would be down here, and we could get a reasonable entry.
Danger you've got there is we're hitting March then, and that's about the time that Eli Lilly are going to be coming out with their own.
Definitely, they're coming out in springtime here. Yeah. So let's see what happens. We are not in it now, and we are not just about to buy it yet.
We're talking tailwinds and headwinds here, and let's stay with that theme because yesterday, that was definitely not the wind that Ørsted was hoping for their windmills in the US. Again, the Trump, and I better say administration, not organization, because that sounds like a crime cartel instead. They kind of stopped the windmills in the US. Liam, this is your story. They went down by almost 7% yesterday. Investors even went with them, 2.7% down for investors yesterday. Ørsted is down again today. Vestas is okay, but that was a dire blow yesterday.
It was a killer blow, and it's, you look back on it, it's obvious. You know, the US are in the middle of the biggest build up of AI in the history of their country. They need more and more power going in there. They haven't got enough. They know that. So why not kill off 4 gigawatts of power distribution? And that just makes complete sense, doesn't it?
For viewers here, I better stress this is irony, but just if you haven't come across it before.
Yes, it's a strange decision, and it comes back to the climate denial, the climate change denial side of things that is creeping into that side of politics at the moment. The Trump administration and their backers don't like wind power at all. The reason they've given for this one is security concerns, and they're saying that the windmills that are generating power actually cause problems with radar, and they do. It is a known thing. It's also they've passed their military reviews, so it's not a problem. They did that a few years ago, and they have workarounds for these things, so it's not quite as important.
You're forgetting that they're killing the whales.
Oh, and the polar bears as well.
And the polar bears. By the way,
Santa Claus.
if I may just add,
Santa Claus could hit a windmill. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right now, and Liam, you did an article about this a few weeks back where you said the winner of AI in the future will be the ones that have power enough. to power the data centers. This is the number of terawatt of electricity that is produced by China and US. And the reason why US have been able to go almost sideways here is because they have outsourced all productivity or all production to China. But right now, if we just take a quick look at it, this is the installed solar power in China combined to the rest of the world. I couldn't find up-to-date numbers for the wind, but they are similar. And here is the installed energy storage capacity. That is either a big lithium battery parks, or it is what is called pumped hydro, where you pump water up and then make energy when it runs down again. So they are focusing on this, on coal, on gas, on nuclear, they're focusing on every single kilowatt hour they can squeeze out. And as you said, Trump is saying, we need power, so why not shut something down?
It's not only that. The other thing they've done over the last 15 years is completely replace their power transmission system in China.
Yes.
So it's a modern power transition system that all the European and Western countries are talking about putting in, but they can't afford it.
Yeah, and I can tell from living 12 years in the US, living in Los Angeles, that is a big city, we have to say that, and having more power outages just there than I've ever experienced on Bali. So that tells a little bit about the grid they have in the US. Well, let's change subjects, because we are asking the smartest people that we know. It's not the two of you and it's not me. It's our members, in that sense that when we have our Tuesday poll, which is today, of course, and we kind of gave a little bit of a hint about it yesterday. It's up and running right now on all the social medias. We're asking in regards to where will the Tesla price be come April 1st, 2026. And it's eerily relevant today, because Europe just put out numbers that nearly puts them 12% down on sales for their cars in November. So where are we going, guys? Are we going towards 100, or are we going towards 1,000? Who wants to start?
We're going up. And I would stress here that what we're asking about is, where do we think the stock is going? We're not asking what we think it's worth.
Okay. Scrooge, you said your piece. Let's go to Liam. But he still says up, the little elf here.
I think I've got to agree, and it pains me to do that, actually, because normally obviously I'm right and he's wrong, but I mean, for some reason it seems to levitate at the moment. Tesla, it's way over its actual valuation when you look at the intrinsic value. You've got all that. Today came out that Elon Musk pushed through the dangerous door opening side of things, that you think that's a bit. Do you want to get involved in that sort of stock? But yeah, it's going to go up, I guess.
It's only a matter of higher PE. So as long as the PE is going up, people are willing to take more risk, then the stock will go up.
And when I took a look at what's going on right now in the social media sites of ours on Facebook, I can see everybody agrees with you guys. It's going to go over 500. That's the guess right now. And to a certain degree, I have to say, the members and the people who follow our show and watch our things on Facebook, they tend to be right, because we asked them in the beginning of November where would Novo be come year's end, and we're getting close on the year's end. And basically all the groups set between 300 and 350. They're sitting at 328 this second. There's still a couple of days to go. Let's see where we're going. And let's get on with something that also is crawling up fast. That's gold, it's silver, it's platinum. It's basically breaking all the records and giving huge returns on the year. Liam, can it go on? Can gold keep going up 4,500 today?
Yes, I don't see why not, because at the end of the day, this is partly to do with the dollar drive that we talked about earlier on in the program, where the dollar's getting hit, and therefore that makes actually gold more valuable from a dollar point of view. The rise in euro terms is actually about half. So you can see the different currencies play out there. People are using it as a store of value. They always have, and that's where they go to in inflationary environments where they don't believe that a currency is going to stay where it is. And I often say to people, the other way of thinking it is, actually gold hasn't gone up; it stayed the same. Your currency has gone down. The value of the money in your pocket.
And the thing is that in our 3-point playbook portfolio, we also have mining stocks
We do.
that we stuffed our stocking with. And that, of course, is helping because that's both gold, and silver and platinum to a certain degree. That's
Yeah.
in that. And
Yeah,
you're going to bring up one here.
Yes, we bought Anglo Gold Ashanti. It's up 14% since we bought it, and that was just under a month ago. We bought it on the 26th of November. And
if I may, Liam, out of the lot of all the gold mines and stocks that we could choose, why that one?
well, you can see here from it was basically the 3-point playbook. That's how we measured it, and that's really going down to three things: is it a quality company? Is there good value in it, or is it undervalued at the moment? And is it a good time to buy? The key three metrics that people who watch the show know that I always look for: quality score of over 60 is 94. It's one of the top companies in the country. Earnings, these golden bars are the future earnings coming in. They're going up through the roof. And the PEG ratio is well below the 2.5 that we look for. Everything else is green on here. So we can tick that box and say, yes, it's a quality company. If I just move over to our valuation system, we can see that actually, if I come down here, we bought it around here, something like that. And we could see that in the worst case scenario, even now when it's gone up 14%, we still think we'll, even if the stock stayed where it is, or it didn't really move up that much, we'd still be 6% up in the worst case scenario. And we think there's probably about 31% on top as well on where we're going, just from a valuation point of view. And purely from a timing point of view, it's above its 50-day moving average. This green line here, which is the average of the last 50 days worth of prices, it's above its 200. And then our MTIs, our momentum indicators for the daily and the weekly down here, both turned green back then and have carried on going up. So it's in the channel. It's got momentum behind it. It's going up as far as we can see.
But Liam, you're almost saying that it's going to keep going. I know that we can't predict anything, we can't promise anything, but it might not be too late to get in.
Almost certainly not. We're looking at potentially on our base case scenario, which is what we think is going to happen. There's another 31% on top of where it is from now. So we're aiming for a 45% gain in this one. Whether we get it or not, it really depends. But we're safe because basically, if the stock drops down below its 50, then we'll look to sell it.
There we go. And one thing is that gold is going up. Another thing is coming down. They call it money rain in certain areas when you have dollar on your pocket and you make them rain. But it's Hans-Henrik, it's rain in a bad sense. The dollar is just losing value. It's good for American goods being sold in Europe because they become cheaper.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it depends on who you ask if it's bad. If it's a company that is selling to Europe, they might actually think it's good. However, there is kind of a thinking that worked in 1980. And the reason for that is at that point, when something was produced in the United States, it was mainly with US components. Today, it's with 80-85% foreign components. So when the dollar drops, American stuff gets cheaper to sell in Europe, but European stuff gets more expensive to sell in United States. So when the production companies, the factories in US, when they are buying stuff from Europe and China to produce American products, they are being hit by this dollar as well. Also, the American public is being crushed by this dollar because they're buying so much stuff from Asia cheap. And when the dollar drops, it's getting less cheap. So where will the dollar go? Well, that's impossible to say, but we can see that there is a smaller demand for dollar and for US bonds simply because people are fed up with the United States using the dollar as some sort of sanction tool that they can hit people in the head with.
But I want to ask both of you, because when I look at every financial chart that I have on my screen here, everything is measured in dollar. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, oil, soybeans, what have you. Doesn't that mean that people need the dollar?
Yeah, for now. Right now, China is building a digital yuan, a digital currency. And that is one of the reasons why gold is going up so much, because China and the other BRICS countries are buying in tons and tons of gold because they want to have a gold-backed currency, just as the dollar was up until 1971. That means that people can trust it if they know this one, whatever currency it is backed by a certain amount of gold. So they are shifting. Several African countries and Asian countries have started trading with China in this digital yuan, and that will grow. Right now, there are almost 70 countries that US have the dollar sanctions against, meaning they're punishing them for something, simply by restricting several parts of the banking system or the dollar. And many countries are saying, okay, well, China is not perfect, but United States is really being unstable right now.
Yeah. The one thing you've got to remember in this conversation as well is that actually it probably will happen. These sort of fiat currencies don't last for more than typically 100 years. And we've been, 107, 110 years now. But it tends to come with massive issues. The last one was the pound. Everyone was quite rude and didn't want it anymore, we thought, back in 1918. But that brought in the world wars. That was a period of instability that came along. And you can see in the macroeconomic environment here now, the same thing could easily happen anywhere around the world. Could even be now, but hopefully we've got 20 years or so while the dollar is still.
We're talking dollars, we're talking gold, we're talking stocks, but we're not talking Christmas gifts. Are we on a gift basis? Should I have bought you something for Christmas or what?
Definitely.
Have you not?
Okay. I'm glad that you talk at the same time, because then I can
just say that. That was the only reason I turned up.
No, but I had my Christmas wish. I want to have a lottery ticket for the US lottery tomorrow. Because on the 24th of December, they have a jackpot in the US. That was the number of the day that we didn't get to in the beginning. $1.7 billion. And I want it now, not when because it sounds like it's going to be worthless really in a hurry.
Yes.
I think you should be all right.
Yeah, I'll be fine. It's not even the biggest jackpot in the American lottery. That was back a couple of years in 22 when I lived over there, and it fell in Los Angeles, California. Somebody won $2 billion, and they partied in the street next to the kiosk or the supermarket that sold it, because the supermarket get $1 million bonus. So there was a big party going on. Of course, It was in South Central LA. I love that fact. That was just amazing. You guys, we are almost at the end of, I'm almost going to say, the show. It's not going to be like that. Understood that we will be working between Christmas and New Year. The 29th and the 30th, we're going to broadcast, and the markets are open on the 26th. Liam and Hans-Henrik, what kind of days are these days? The 26th of December, where only the US market is open, and then we have a few days between the weekend and New Year's. Is anything going to happen?
Muted, generally.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on. You don't get an awful lot of volume going through the system.
No, absolutely. It'll be there'll be some tax speculation, selling, buying stuff, but it won't be much.
So not even the numbers that we are gonna get, Hans-Henrik, because we're gonna get the GDP from the US, a little bit of home sales as well. You're not saying that it's consumer confidence.
Yeah, consumer confidence is interesting. It's not going to move the market massively. The GDP numbers is from Q3, so that is a revision. And with the shutdown, 45 days shutdown, we can't really count on the numbers. In January, we'll get the Q4 numbers, but they will still be skewed by the shutdown. So basically, we can't really trust the GDP numbers until sometimes in April when we get the Q1 numbers, I guess.
Okay. And Hans-Henrik has promised that he will be working between Christmas and New Year's, even on the days where Liam and I are going to take a day off or two and get a gin fizz or whatever we're having. But you're going to put out some videos between now and when we are on air again.
Yeah, I planned 3 videos, and the first video is what is a bubble? Everyone talks about bubbles and investment bubbles and so on. So I'm trying to define it, because that is not that easy to do. The next question is, are we in one now? And that will be the next video. And the third one is, do we care? With our strategy, does it actually matter if we're in a bubble or not?
Could I suggest a fourth, just stepping through your logic of why you put that bloody hound today?
Well,
I'm just wondering.
I knew it would annoy the shit out of you, so I thought, why not?
Yeah, I don't know if neither of you is going to make it to the nice list for Santa Claus, but I can promise you, if you have questions for these two guys that have answers to everything, then do write us, FOMO@MyStockScanner.com. Be sure to check out our platform, MyStockScanner.com, for a view of our 3-point playbook that's up by more than 35% if you are a member, or you can try a membership and then you also get to see. Thanks for joining us under the twinkling glow of the December markets. We will be back English-wise on Tuesday the 30th at 1 p.m. Central European time, and in Danish on Monday the 29th at noon. Until then, from Liam, Hans-Henrik, and I, happy holidays. Have yourself a Merry Christmas. See you guys.